Hey, good people, welcome to another Talking and Grubbing Live Nightly Digital Show. Tonight, this is part one of my greatest Super Bowl moments video. Looking back on some of the most exciting, most electric, even the most iconic plays in Super Bowl history as we're 4 days away from Super Bowl 58 kicking off in Vegas. So let's get into it right here, right now. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to a brand new Talking and Grubbing Live Nightly Digital Show. How's everybody doing on this Wednesday night? Hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing good. My apologies for the late start. I had to get a few last minute things together before I got on the air. I appreciate all y'all being patient with me, and I appreciate all you tuning in on this late night. Whether you tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch, I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to my dude Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining me. Check out his channel. He does a lot of great sports highlights over there. Now, we all know Super Bowl 58 is 4 days away in Las Vegas between the San Francisco 49ers and the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a great matchup. Can't wait to do that. Can't wait to do the live stream for it this Sunday. I'll be live for that at 4:30. Make sure y'all join me on there. But man, over these past 58 years, we've seen a lot of heart-stopping, jaw-dropping, legendary, iconic plays where, where stars not only make their name, but they also make their fame. This definitely gets them closer to Canton. This definitely gets them closer to GOAT status. This definitely gets them closer to icon status. And man, we've had a bunch of plays over the decades. Man, it's so hard to pick out just any because you can't go wrong with picking any of these plays from, whether it was David Tyree's helmet catch or the Patriots 28-3 comeback against the Atlanta Falcons. Also, you can't go wrong with Desmond Howard's 99-yard kickoff return for a TD. It's just so many. Of course, we've had some great defensive plays. Who can forget about Malcolm Smith picking off Peyton Manning and taking it back to the house for a pick six in the Super Bowl, which no one had really heard his name all year, but he ended up coming up big on the biggest stage and walked away with the Super Bowl MVP. So, man, it was just so hard to come up with this list. And tonight I'm going to do my first five. Sunday afternoon, I'll be back with my greatest Super Bowl moments part 2. That'll be on around 1 o'clock. So make sure you definitely tune in for that. You don't want to miss it. So without further ado, these are my top 5 greatest Super Bowl moments. And starting at 5. Now, this guy was an unlikely hero. He's an undrafted free agent. Matter of fact, his name was not really called all season, and it wasn't really called much in the playoffs. But when it was time for his moment to shine, he definitely shined. And not only he shined, he sealed the Super Bowl title for his team. And he has definitely become a legend in Super Bowl folklore. I'm talking about Malcolm Smith, as he had the game-ending interception against the Seattle Seahawks. All right. Let me pull up the video here. All right, there we go. All right, this is from Super Bowl 49. Now, the Seahawks, they had drove down the field and they were knocking on the doorstep of taking the lead with a few seconds left, but Russell Wilson throws a pass in the end zone. Malcolm Butler comes through with the game-sealing interception that seals the Patriots' fourth Super Bowl title in franchise history. Now, we all know if you're a Seahawks fan, you definitely hate seeing this play because a lot of you to this day are still PO'd at Pete Carroll for not calling any run plays for that star running back, Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode. Matter of fact, Richard Sherman to this day still gets mad at Pete Carroll for not calling a run play instead of letting Russell Wilson throw it right here in the end zone, right at the 1 yard line. And Malcolm Butler, he's a Patriots legend, and now he's in Super Bowl folklore with one of the most iconic picks in Super Bowl history. Man, I remember that game. That was a hell of a game. And on that drive, it seemed like the Seahawks were very unstoppable. Russ was just, slicing and dicing them down the field. And we all definitely thought the Seahawks were going to score and find a way to come back and win the Super Bowl. But Malcolm Butler was a guy who his number hadn't really been called too much during the regular season, and we hadn't seen much of him during the playoffs. But when he needed to, he stepped up above and beyond the call of duty and definitely shined on the biggest stage. He definitely took advantage of the opportunity for his moment to shine. And even though he may not be in Canton, but this play, his name is etched in New England Patriots history and also is etched in Super Bowl history. And that was a heck of a heads-up play right there by Butler to just jump that route and definitely focus his eyes on where Russ was throwing to come up with that ball to seal the Super Bowl title for the Patriots. And finally, for them to get that redemption after they had lost back-to-back Super Bowls against Eli Manning's New York Giants. Definitely a heck of a play. That's one of the best plays, defensive plays, I've seen in a Super Bowl in a long time. So Malcolm Butler is definitely a legend, and that man will never have to buy a drink anywhere in the New England area. All right, now on to my next play. This guy's from my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Even though he's a Michigan man, and we have our disagreements with him, but we definitely cannot take away, what he did in the Super Bowl that ended up sealing the game for his team to go on to take home that Vince Lombardi trophy. As a matter of fact, ended up bringing it back home to the home of Vince Lombardi. I'm talking about Desmond Howard with his 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Oops. My apologies. Wrong picture. My apologies. Y'all forgive me for that. Definitely didn't mean to show that picture. Now in Super Bowl 31, the Patriots had just scored, and the Packers, they definitely needed a spark and a score to definitely hold off this pesky Patriots team and put the Super Bowl on ice for the Packers so they could walk home with the Vince Lombardi trophy. As the Patriots had just made it close, 27-21. And Vinatieri here kicks it off to Desmond Howard. Now, this man was electric from his Heisman Trophy winning days with the Wolverines. And man, he took it all the way to the house for 99 yards. Matter of fact, that's the longest kickoff return for a touchdown in Super Bowl history. So the Packers not only got that big score, but it ended up sealing the Super Bowl for them. That was their, that was their third Super Bowl title in franchise history. They finally brought a title back to Titletown after many years. Matter of fact, that was their first title since Vince Lombardi was the head coach. As a matter of fact, Desmond Howard ended up walking away with the Super Bowl MVP thanks to that 99-yard kickoff return. Thanks to him and that 99-yard kickoff return, he ended up walking away with the Super Bowl MVP. But that was definitely a big play right there. It changed the momentum heavily in the game. That definitely gave the Packers a whole lot of breathing room. So that Brett Favre, a.k.a. the welfare king with the Burger King hat on, and the rest of the Packers offense could just relax and definitely be on cruise control so they can definitely walk away with the Vince Lombardi trophy and bring it back to Titletown in Green Bay, Wisconsin. But man, that was just such an electric play right there by one of the greatest return men in the NFL. And it's a shame that Desmond Howard is not in Canton, because he definitely deserves it, because as a punt returner, kick returner, he was definitely a beast. I mean, we all think about dudes like Devin Hester, Josh Cribbs, and a few others, but Desmond Howard back in that day was the man. He was definitely the man on special teams. And that was a guy you definitely did not want to kick to, because with his legs, he could make you pay. And the Patriots found out the hard way. You don't kick to Desmond Howard, because not only he shifted the momentum in that Super Bowl, he ended up bringing home the Super Bowl. All right, good people. 2 down, 3 more to go. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back, so don't go away.
Listen up, sports fans. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back for our 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. We've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest new European slots, and our live dealers are waiting for you at the table. Sign up at BetUS.com today to get into the action. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, this live stream is brought to you by my partners at BetUS.com. If you're looking for some major action on the Super Bowl this weekend, BetUS is the one for you. Sign up right now with my link here, and you'll get 125% sign up bonus. You'll get more chances to bet, more chances to win, and you get a great payout with your wins. BetUS, where the game begins. All right. Now, my next greatest Super Bowl moment. This guy, he was an undrafted free agent. Matter of fact, he was not picked. He definitely was not picked up by any team, but the Pittsburgh Steelers took a chance on him, and he definitely made his legend. And he had a hell of a career. Me as a Browns fan, we definitely did not like him because he used to terrorize us. But it's also a shame this man has not made it to Canton yet because he is very well deserving. And that's me as a Browns fan saying that. He is very well deserving of being in Canton. And I definitely think he's going to get into Canton soon. But he made one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl history. I'm talking about James Harrison and his 100-yard pick six against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals, they were right at the 1-yard line, and they were about to score. Matter of fact, they definitely looked like they definitely were in great position to score. And most of you at home thought that they were definitely about to score. But James Harrison had other ideas. As it was already 10-7 Steelers. And it looks like the Cardinals were about to take it in for the lead. Kurt Warner try to hit Larry Fitzgerald, and then James Harrison just threw off a lot of tacklers, and a lot of his fellow defensive linemen looked like offensive linemen as they definitely gave him his running room, and he took it back to the house for the pick six, and that definitely shifted the momentum in this game here. This was a big momentum shift right here in this game because it kept the Cardinals scoreless. Also, it turned out to be the major difference in the game as the Steelers ended up coming back and winning as Ben Roethlisberger hit Santonio Holmes for a short pass in the end zone, because if the Cardinals would have scored that touchdown, the Cardinals would have won the Super Bowl instead of the Steelers. But James Harrison, an undrafted free agent who just seemed like came out of nowhere, he made one of the biggest plays in Super Bowl history. As a matter of fact, that's the longest interception return for a touchdown in Super Bowl history till this day. Now, who knows? It might be broken here Sunday. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But this play is very iconic. This goes down in Super Bowl folklore, Super Bowl legend. Every time you talk about the Super Bowl, this is definitely one of the plays that gets highlighted, and rightfully so, man. That was a heads-up play by Harrison right there, as he definitely got in the way of the route, that was, in Larry Fitzgerald's point of view, and took it upon himself and took it to the house for 100 yards. Man, that was just one hell of a play. It was like, when I saw that, my reaction was like, how the hell did he do that? Oh my goodness. This dude just picked it off and took it all the way to the house. But man, that's definitely one of the most legendary plays I will ever see in the Super Bowl. And I'll never forget it. All right, now I'm going to rewind the clock back here for number 2. Now, at the time, this was the longest touchdown run by a running back, as this definitely really put the game away for the Raiders. And this was Marcus Allen's 74-yard touchdown run. I want to make sure I'm right. Which Super Bowl that was. And that was in Super Bowl 28. No, excuse me. I was in Super Bowl 18. As the Raiders had the ball here. Now they were already up here big, but Marcus Allen definitely wanted to make sure that there was no comeback for the then defending Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. And he definitely put his stamp on that with this touchdown right here. Okay, I'm getting the video. There we go. Now the Raiders were definitely right here at their own 25. And man, Marcus Allen with some great moves. Man, he fended off one blocker, and then he ended up getting the daylight he needed from his old line. He took it all the way to the house for the 74-yard touchdown, and that made the game out of reach for the Redskins. And Marcus Allen ended up walking away with Super Bowl MVP, rightfully so, based on that run right there. That was one of the most iconic runs in Super Bowl history. He ended up finishing with 192 yards and 2 touchdowns, including that 74-yard touchdown. So Allen definitely earned Super Bowl MVP. Matter of fact, I'm not sure about it, but if they didn't vote for him, he should have been voted unanimous Super Bowl MVP because Allen was the best player in that Super Bowl, bar none. You know, he ended up getting the 191 yards on 20 carries, which is amazing. Only 20 carries. You would think this dude would have gotten more than just 20 carries for running almost 200 yards. You would have thought he would have gotten 25 at least. But Marcus Allen was definitely the man in that Super Bowl. And I mean, it's a shame that he doesn't get talked about like he should, because Marcus Allen was a great running back. He's very underrated. He should have definitely gotten his prop. I mean, he should definitely get his more props as one of the all-time great running backs, because this man definitely had a hell of a career. He put up some major numbers during his career. He had over 12,000 rushing yards, 123 touchdowns. Also, he wasn't too bad of a receiver. He had over 5,000 receiving yards on 500, almost 600 receptions. So that's just remarkable that he put up that many numbers. You know, back then, imagine if Marcus Allen was playing in today's NFL. Oh man, Marcus Allen would definitely be balling. He would be a superstar with the stats that he put up back then, and he would definitely have more stats than he would today, because not only he was a traditional running back, but he was a pass catching running back. And look at a lot of the pass catching running backs we have in the NFL now. Marcus Allen would definitely thrive here in today's NFL, not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. So that 74-yard TD run that definitely lives in Raiders legend and Super Bowl legend for years to come. Now, my number one Super Bowl moment. Now, this was another guy that didn't have his number called too much during the regular season and definitely didn't see much during the playoffs. Matter of fact, he was a 6th-round pick in the 2003 draft, so he didn't see much playing time, but right here in the Super Bowl against an undefeated New England Patriots team, when the team needed him to step up the most, he definitely did that and then some, and made one of the most iconic catches in Super Bowl history. I've mistakenly shown it tonight and on the thumbnail, but here it is. And that's the iconic David Tyree helmet catch here in Super Bowl 42. Now, the New York Giants, who was a wild card team, were going up against the undefeated New England Patriots. They were 16-0. They had a lot of buzz. Everybody was talking about them finally catching up with the 1972 Miami Dolphins as being the only undefeated team to go on to win the Super Bowl. And that definitely looked like that was about to be the case as the Patriots trailed 14-7 late in the fourth quarter. They were at their own 44-yard line on 3rd and 5. And the Patriots were definitely trying to get to Eli Manning for the sack so they can get the ball back and put themselves in prime position to close it out and win the Super Bowl. But Eli Manning had other plans here on this 3rd and 5. Now, Eli's looking down the field. He almost gets sacked, but he finds a way to be crafty and eludes the sack. And David Tyree with the jump ball helmet catch on Rodney Harrison comes up with it and gets the first down. And that keeps the drive alive for the Giants. Now, like I said, David Tyree hadn't had his number called too much really all season long, and he definitely didn't have it called too much during the playoffs. But in the biggest moment, this 6th-round pick ended up stepping up and making one of the most iconic, legendary catches in Super Bowl history. And he is definitely a hero to a lot of New York Giants fans across the world, as that definitely kept the drive alive, and that ended up saving the magical season they had as they went on to, as Eli ended up driving down the field, finding Plexico Burress in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown to give the Giants the lead, and which ultimately ended up sealing the Super Bowl for the Giants, their first since 1990, their 3rd one in franchise history. Tom Coughlin's first, Michael Strahan's first. We all know he retired after that. And David Tyree has become a Super Bowl hero, a Super Bowl legend, thanks to this one jump ball helmet catch right here. It goes to show you, hey, even if you're not playing that much, be ready when your number's called. And David Tyree is a shining example of that. He was a 6th-round pick, really didn't play that much during the regular season, didn't play that much during the playoffs, but he stayed ready. And once his number was called to go out there on that 3rd and 5, he delivered. And hey, he jumped and caught that ball like he was the best receiver in the NFL that day, even though he may have been a 2nd or 3rd string receiver. he believed in himself like he was the best out there, even though he had a all-pro Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, and Rodney Harrison on him. He outshined him and showed him that, hey, you're not getting this ball. This is my ball. And this is my time to get a ring. You already got your ring. It's my turn to get mine. And man, that was just one hell of a catch. That definitely was. That was one hell of a catch, man. Because also, I definitely thought Eli was going to get sacked right there. But man, he definitely was crafty and showed some pretty good footwork right there to escape that sack and find David Tyree all the way down the field right at the 24-yard line for that catch. And that kept the season alive for the Giants, and it kept their magical playoff run alive. Because I was a major fan of that 07 Giants team. I was rooting for them to win. I was rooting for them in the playoffs. And I definitely was rooting for them to win that Super Bowl because I just knew how great of a story that would be for them to be underdogs here and knock off a juggernaut that was undefeated, all through the regular season and, through most of the playoffs. And to take down a legendary team like the Patriots, and that they did. But man, that was just one magnificent catch by David Tyree that will live on forever in Super Bowl legend and definitely will live on in New York Giants folklore. All right, good people. That's going to do it here for my greatest Super Bowl moments. Be sure you stay tuned Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock for part 2 of greatest Super Bowl moments. And I'll be live Sunday afternoon at 4:30 for Super Bowl 58 between the 49ers and Chiefs. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. Definitely can't wait to do it. I'll be back live tomorrow at 8 o'clock with my top 10 GOAT Super Bowl champions. You don't want to miss this. So until then, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. Salute. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy your day. I'm out. See y'all tomorrow.